everyone, it's Mary. Today I will be filming the first part of a book haul that I don't know yet how many parts it will have, just because I have a lot of books to talk about. I do want to divide this haul into fiction and non-fiction, so these first parts are gonna be fiction, and I've got another part which is gonna be non-fiction books, and I'm very excited to share these books with you. I have so many just because I have been purchasing books and not showing them on my channel for quite a long time now, but most of the books that I'm gonna show you are recent purchases. Just because my birthday was in November, and this year, unlike previous years, I decided to ask for money instead of giving away my my wish list link, just because what happened was that family and friends would ask me my wish list link, and my wish list is huge, so it has like more than 300 books on it, and I was feeling a bit sorry that I was maybe receiving books that, yes, I did want to read, but they were not my priority, because I have, you know, all the books that I decided that at some point in my life I want to get to are in my wish list, and I really wanted to be able to choose for myself the books that I just want to get to in the near future. As I said in a previous video, I purged my my shelves of the books that I'm not that excited about anymore. It took me a long time on BookTube to realize which books I really want to read, which books I think are for me, and which books I don't really, I don't know if I would enjoy. I don't know if this makes sense, but enough with the bubbling, let's get to the books. The first book that I purchased is Crazy Rich Asians by Kwan. Lately, I didn't have a lot of time to read. Obviously, having a toddler and all that jazz. I wanted to include in my reading experience lighter reads, books that are quick to get to, that you can get very engrossed in the story, and that are fun to read. This is one of them. I've seen the movie poster. I didn't even see the trailer, but it just looked like something that I would enjoy. Like, you know, I'm going in a little bit blindfolded, but I really think that this book is gonna be so much fun. And I don't know a huge lot about the plot. I just know that we have Rachel and her boyfriend Nick, and she agrees on spending the summer with him in Singapore, but she just doesn't know how rich he really is. She gets to, as she steps off the plane, she gets to meet his family and the society in which he lives, and she is taken aback and has to deal with all that. And yeah, it just seems like so much fun. I really hope that I enjoy this one, and I think this one is a series actually. I saw that there are other 2 books. I'm a bit sad for the edition. I absolutely hate mass market paperbacks. But hey ho, I didn't check the measures of the book, which is something that I know it sounds maybe weird, but it's something that I will definitely be doing in the future, because I cannot with these books. They're so small. Then we have A Stitch in Time by Penelope Lively. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Quite an old book because it was written in the 70s, and is a middle grade book, I think, I'm pretty sure. It's the story of this girl, and she has this quirk that she hears objects speak, and she's not really sure if it's, you know, just her imagination or a special sort of ability, but she finds an embroidered picture from the Victorian era and starts to feel connected to it. This will uncover some secrets, some dark secrets, and the story involves time travel, which is my main kick, you know, in a novel. If it has time travel, then you know, I 100% want to read that. I don't read nearly enough time travel stories as I should, because it's my favorite plot device in literature. So yeah, this has been on my TBR for ages, and it just seems like a very quick read just because, you know, it's a middle grade book, but it sounds delightful. Then we have the Sealwoman's Gift by Sally Magnusson, and this is set in the 17th century in Iceland, and pirates abduct 400 people into slavery. And this talks about Asta, the pastor's wife, during this journey, and just talks about her telling stories. So it's about the sea, it's about motherhood, it is about loss. And the author has Icelandic descent. I read that it's supposed to be a poetic retelling of Icelandic myths and lore, and it just sounds like a beautiful read. So I'm really excited to get to this one, maybe in summer, because it sounds like a summer read. Then we have The Western Wind by Samantha Harvey, and again, this is historical fiction set in the 17th century. No, in the 15th century, as a body is swept up in the current of this river, and the story is told from the local priest point of view, who knows some secrets regarding this death, because he is a confessor. So he possibly starts to unravel this sort of mystery. I'm not a huge mystery fan, but I love historical fiction, of course, and this just sounds like it's gonna be more, you know, than just a mystery story. And plus the cover of this one is gorgeous. So this is Shallow Me. I'm gonna show you some gorgeous books that I bought, you know, partly because of the cover as well. I just have to admit it. But you know, this has great reviews, and it just sounds like something that I would really enjoy. Next up we have Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've seen this book on BookTube a lot lately, and it's funny because all the people that I follow on BookTube are split with this book, because half of them really enjoy this and the other half really despised the book. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna make of it, but I do think that I am gonna be one of those that enjoys the book. Otherwise I wouldn't have bought this one. But it just sounds like something that I would absolutely love, and possibly would have loved even more when I was in my early 20s. It talks about this band, Daisy Jones and the Six. Well, actually Daisy Jones as a, you know, as this 70s sort of rock star, and how she met with the Six and how they started to become a band, and how their relationship evolves. It is based off a real, you know, experience of Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac, but I don't know anything about their lives. I did listen to my fair amount of Fleetwood Mac in the past, but I have to admit I don't know anything about their story. So this sounds like it's gonna be quick and very enjoyable. Also, I heard, I don't remember who, saying that it was a very good audio experience. I do have this one on audio on Script, so I possibly will check that this out on audio as well. I'll see how this one goes. Next up is How It Was by Jeanette Ellis, and I previously read The Butcher's Hook, which was her debut novel, and I absolutely enjoyed that book a lot. The thing that really struck me was her ability to use words and her language, and how she captured your attention and really made the atmosphere so vivid. I just think she is a very talented writer, and I remember finishing The Butcher's Hook, which again was a very great book, and I thought whatever else she's gonna write, I'm just gonna have to read. So this is her second novel, and it is set in the 70s, and revolves around the relationship between a mother and her teenage daughter, as the mother finds out something that will cause her to do something terrible, possibly. I don't really want to know more than that. I really hope this is gonna be, you know, similar in tone and vibe to The Butcher's Hook. So yeah, this one. Then we've got another gorgeous book, which is The Gloaming by Kirsty Logan. This is sort of a fairy tale-esque story involving magic and people who turn to stone living on this island where Mara transferred with her parents. Yeah, I don't know anything more than that. Myth and lore and mermaids and stuff, and it just sounds like a great summer read, and I hope it's gonna be beautifully written. Did I tell you it's a gorgeous naked hardback? Because it is. Then we have The Neverending Story by Ende. I never read this book. I don't think it needs any sort of explanation. I remember flipping through the pages of this book when I was maybe 10 years old, and I was in the public library, and I was like, oh, it has a different font color, because, you know, it has some green parts and some brownish parts. I don't know if you can see. And I remember that I was interested in this, but I don't know how I never picked this one up. And I did see the movie twice. Once when I was young, and I did have some, you know, fond memories of it. And then once when I was a grown-up, and I absolutely hated it. So I was like, I don't care about the story or the book. But then I heard Mel from Mel's Books and Adventures mention this book and how it actually is nothing like the film. And she told me to forget about my, you know, watching experience of it and just dive into the book. So I got it now, and at some point I will dive into it. It is very beautiful, I have to say that. Next up I have The Nikah Voice by Colson Whitehead. I really didn't want to read Colson Whitehead, but there's something about the Underground Railroad that doesn't appeal to me. I don't know why. Maybe it's a, you know, of course it's a great book as a lot of people seem to be thinking, but I just I didn't feel like I wanted to pick that one up. Well, this one sounds amazing. It's about a young boy that enrolls in this sort of Nikah Academy that hides ugly secrets. It's an all boys academy, and boys start to disappear. So I think it's gonna be, you know, a tough one, because it obviously will talk about abuse and violence and all that jazz. But I just feel like it's gonna be an important read, and I really hope this one is gonna be, you know, a good one, a good starting point. And then maybe if I enjoy this one, I could check out more of his books and see what I think. But yeah, this one. Next up I have The Mothers by Bennett. Again, a very striking cover. This is centered again on motherhood, and the protagonist is a young teenage girl. I think yes, she's 17, as she falls pregnant, and her mother recently committed suicide, and as she debates whether to not keep the baby, it explores the relationship that she had with her mother as well, and of course her being a mother somehow because she's pregnant. So I'm always interested in motherhood, as you guys possibly know by now, and this one I remember was, you know, making the rounds on BookTube, I think 2 or 3 years ago now, but it was very well praised, so I really hope I am gonna enjoy this one. I will sound like a broken record in this haul, but I am excited about all the books that I'm showing you guys. So this one. Then we have a book that I've seen on BookTube a lot lately, which makes me so happy, and it is Red, White and Royal Blue by McQuiston. And actually I put this book on my wish list ages ago because a friend of mine that is off BookTube, she suggested that I read this book, and I was like, ooh, this sounds like something that I would absolutely enjoy. I put it on my wish list, and then I saw, you know, most of the people that I follow on BookTube reading it, reviewing it, and really enjoying it, and I was even more pumped to pick this one up. So I just had to get it soon, and it just, again, sounds like the type of read that is gonna, you know, be very fluffy but engrossing, and it just sounds like a very compelling read. And it's set in an alternate reality in which the president of the United States is a woman, and her son has an argument sort of with the British prince, and the two boys will start their kind of relationship. Of course they're gonna fall in love. That's just, you know, the premise of the book. I just think this is gonna be high in my priority list. It just sounds like the perfect cozy read. Yeah, so this one. Another similar in tone in terms of fluffiness is Heartstopper Vol.II by Ellis Oseman. I read Vol.1 back in December, as I told you in my December wrap-up, and I cursed myself because I didn't have the second volume in my hands. I didn't think it was gonna be that quick, because I read the first one in 20 minutes and I was like, where's the second one? I don't know why I didn't buy both of them at the same time. But again, this is a graphic novel, and it talks about these two boys falling in love in high school. They're cute. And I really enjoyed the first one. The last one that I'm gonna talk about is my most recent purchase. And again, in this case, I treated myself to a hardback, which I rarely do, but it's just too gorgeous. And it is Woven in Moonlight by Isabel Ibañez. And I've seen this book reviewed by Olive over at A Book Olive, and just the fact that she absolutely raved about it, and the cover being so beautiful, and being a YA. I don't read a lot of YA, but I don't know, I should include more of it in my reading, just because I know if I pick up the right ones, I'm gonna be able to enjoy them. I'm not a major, contemporary YA fan, but I don't have to read that in order to enjoy YA. So yeah, and the fact that this one talks about Bolivian culture and politics, it just it ticks a lot of boxes, and I honestly don't know how to explain the plot of this one. I'm not going to try. It just, as I said, beautiful Bolivian culture and politics, and this ability of the main protagonist to weave messages in moonlight, creating tapestries. And I don't even know how to explain this. It sounds complicated, but at the same time, I just know it's not going to be complicated once I get into this story and in this magical world. Look how gorgeous this is. My God. And I know this one is a standalone, but the author intends to write more books set in the same world. So again, I cannot wait to get to this one. Oh, and it also has a map at the beginning, which we all know is just tick, tick, tick. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, that's it for today. This was the first part of my haul. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a second part involving fiction, and then I'm gonna film my non-fiction haul, and then I'm gonna be, quiet about new books for a while at least, because I definitely purchased too many. But anyway, let me know, of course, if you read any of the books that I mentioned, what you thought of them. I am so excited to get to all of them, so let's talk, let's chat in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!